Hey everyone, this is Andy again with the Coffee with the Geek program. I usually try to have some coffee, but I guess I drank it all. This is Tim Hortons, our local coffee shop, so iced coffee. We actually have a warm day today. I have a great guest today, and a guest that I met at the OETC conference in Ohio. That's their real big ed tech conference, and I met Helen. I'm going to get this wrong. Pronounce your last name for me, Helen.
Vassiliou.
Vassiliou, there.
You got it.
Got it. With your help. And we had a really great conversation then, and I really wanted to maybe dig deeper into maybe what Ohio is doing for ed tech and really what you're doing, because it sounds like you were doing some really cool things. So you've been 15 years as a K-12 and K-12 and higher education. You're currently the teaching and learning consultant and curriculum specialist for Lakota Local School District. So it sounds like you've got a few hats to wear.
Absolutely.
You're really a professional development and all about enhancing student success and revitalizing teaching. That's a great bumper sticker, I think.
Yes.
And outside of tech, you love writing, reading, photojournalism, and home improvement work. That sounds fun. And you really like to use Twitter and Instagram. That's kind of your social networks, I think, of choice.
Absolutely.
And you're really, I think, passionate about this, all the power that technology has to offer us. So with that, can you give, since we met in Ohio and we were in kind of the Ohio, I'm New York, you're Ohio, give me a flavor for what ed tech is like in Ohio. And before that, just welcome and thank you for joining me.
Well, thanks for the invitation. And I have my liquid of, it's not coffee either, but it'll do. It was a complete honor meeting you at eTech, and I think what you're doing to reach out to educators and get a flavor for technology across the United States is an awesome experience. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to you, Andrew, and thank you. As far as the flavor in Ohio, I think that Ohio is making quick progress towards improving technology in our classrooms. I think we're in a phase one where classroom technologies are being used to improve students and staff performance. I think we're working on really defining and modeling what a digital citizen is and what that means and what our digital footprint means to students. I see that we're moving towards evaluating tech tools and working smarter, not harder. I think it's a transition, and teachers are becoming risk takers and learning different forms of technology and different media in both formal and informal settings. And I say that because our district, as being one of the largest districts in Southwest Ohio, we include about 1,600 teachers, around 17,000, 18,000 students. We're moving towards more K-12 online learning environments. I see our teachers also becoming online educators. We're using devices as management tools. I see the emergence of wikis and distant learning options for kids. And I think we're focusing now for the first time in Ohio on education through technology as a mobility, as a pathway to unlock learning for students anywhere at any time, and really provide access for all students to kind of become partners in the learning community. So it's kind of new and fresh. It's a little risky. I know there's some uneasiness, but all in all, I think people are very excited to engage. We're crossing a new educational reform movement here where we're looking towards outside of the four-walled classroom. And I think that can be exciting to some and intimidating to the other, but we're all launching this together in every content area. So I'm super excited to be a part of it.
You know, you feel just the sense of your answer. It seems like you're really positive and being proactive about tech. You did mention that there's some, you know, there's our obstacles and challenges, and I know we have those here in New York too. But overall, it seems like you're really tackling things with a positive outlook and really looking at the future of online learning. Do you see that as, is that you personally? Is that kind of the built-in culture of your school district? Mm-hmm. Is it a state culture that has this kind of optimism?
I think our district in its size is now working towards creating a group of digital learning specialists, a group of instructional coaches, a group of curriculum specialists that are going to launch technology and different medias for student learning on a larger scale. I think Ohio is taking, as a conservative state, we're taking smaller steps because I still think there's a trust issue. I think some of the success in what we're doing results in the fact that we see teachers as taking risks, and they're collaborating with their peers, they're communicating. I think we're planning for what can go wrong and then not doing that. So that's been helpful. I think we're just seeing technology as a different lens for students to become active, but giving them a pathway to input information and then giving them a pathway to output information. So it goes beyond the traditional textbook. I think one of the obstacles in that is trust in technology. I think another obstacle is time. I think one of the huge obstacles is the change factor. But part of my job as a teaching and learning consultant is to showcase different kinds of tech tools and kind of excite teachers and show them they're not alone in engaging in the process.
I like how you frame it, and I think it taps into kind of Carol Dweck's growth mindset. I don't know if you're familiar with Carol's work, so I like that optimism, and I think it's so important in today's age. You talked a little bit about projects engaging students. Can you talk about some of the projects you've been working on?
Yeah, we've been working on using tech tools that expand learning beyond the four walls of a classroom. That's pretty much our logo. And I did a fantastic professional development series with my team for the past week and a half, where we're conducting PD with teachers, but we're using platforms like Padlet, BlendSpace. We're teaching educators how to use tools like Kahoot and Socrative for formative instruction. Something awesome that we're doing is a lot of teachers in our district are now launching KidBlog as a way to hold virtual literature circles, and something that they can do over the summer. Super important for the intimidated student, super important for the student who needs more time to process information. 21st century thinking and learning skills are also about communication. And when we think about how kids are communicating via tech tools, we're thinking about the writing that they do and how they're responding. So that's been super important. We've had a blast using QR codes, and even kids making their own QR codes. Our teachers are integrating conferring apps when they're conferring with students about their reading and as a management tool. Other tools like Nearpod. I don't know if you're familiar with Nearpod. Mm-hmm. We created an integrated advanced ELA and social studies course at 6th grade where Nearpod is the collaboration tool for teachers. So, whether we can make time during our day or not, we're going to use tech tools for a collaboration forum. I think it's huge. We have some other super cool projects going on, Andrew, and as a K-12 specialist in my district, I get to see a lot of things. I get to see high school students creating their own sites on Weebly. I get to see students who, I don't know if you did this as a kid, we're probably the same age, but the traditional wax museum where we dressed up, I was Harriet Tubman. And, so we still have that look-alike in our wax museum as a part of our biographies unit. But for the first time, kids created interactive digital timelines about their biographical studies. They used a QR code where they had already pre-recorded their speech on the person that they studied, and they could take that QR code home and share that, which before, if your mom missed your wax museum, you were so stressed out because you had nothing to share. Well, now we do. And I think it makes those online research tools make for a richer researched experience that help kids learn beyond books, and that's huge. I'd like to highlight a 4th grade teacher in our district who use Skype to communicate with a school in Clearwater, Florida on what they know about dolphins and what kids know about dolphins. And we have our Ohio kids that are landlocked, and we're near Cincinnati, so we have the Ohio River, but it's not an ocean. So that's important, and students are learning a whole new set of instructional tools and skills with this exposure. It's huge. They're deepening their understanding of content skills. I think about our 1st graders using Edu Creations to practice communication and their speaking skills, on their knowledge of famous Americans. So what we're doing is, in all of these examples, we're unlocking knowledge for students. And I think whether you're an advanced learner, a second language learner, or a specialized learner, you have to have a different pathway. And that's pretty huge for us in a district our size. I recently had done some brain research on visual literacy, and I learned that vision is our dominant sense. And with that being said, it takes up half of our brain's resources. And humans are hardwired to respond to visual stimuli. So, we don't have enough data right now in our district. This is our first year we launched tech tools, but I'm interested in seeing how growth and what technology and that visual literacy component has done, what kind of impact we've had on education. It'll be super exciting to kind of see how that has come to the forefront.
So tell me about your inspirations. Who are some of your ed tech people? Just who are your inspirations professionally?
Professionally, we have a sensational digital learning staff, and they are integral to everything I do in curriculum. So, I give a shout out to the Lakota DLS. They are outstanding. But, I praise innovators. My biggest inspiration really is children. And I think we have a lot to learn from kids, and that we need to provide them with the opportunities to show us what they know. Being able to sit and watch a child with a new app or a new tech tool effortlessly and just engage in this tool, use trial and error, they take risks, they're incidentally learning, thinking about how children like my niece at 4 years old, who's a non-reader, is downloading apps and knowing what to do without having words in front of her, I think is amazing. So I get my inspiration really from students and what they create and the feedback they give us. I think we don't give them enough credit to be innovators. And I know that in our district, we have a STEM and STEAM initiative where we're allowing kids to have partnerships outside of the school district and the school day to kind of formulate that kind of learning. I see young girls learning how to code, and I appreciate having coding in schools. I hope that's something that we can bring. And then, my inspiration is a little different. I'm more of a ground, grassroots type person. My special educators in the district, the digital and assistive technology tools that they use to unlock learning for kids who can't respond, I think is completely and truly inspirational. And I'm in awe of what they do and what they have done for years that we are just now learning about and are using with all kids. I think it's amazing.
So we're seeing here, I think in our area, we've got Google Classroom that seems to be really taking off. We're seeing Microsoft Office 365 is really starting to take off. There's been iTunes U for the iTunes U folks. Again, those are just three platforms. I know there's more out there. What are you seeing as far as, are you seeing the same kind of trends along those lines? Is not so much programs. I like to think of them as workflows.
Yeah.
They're allowing us really to kind of customize them based on our own tech use, but they really just kind of manage the workflow between teacher and student. Are you seeing that, and is that the wave of the future?
Yeah, we totally see it here in Ohio. But, when we think about differentiating instruction, we think about differentiating content, process, and product. But one of the big ones that we don't think about is how we differentiate the environment. And so having different platforms like iTunes U and Google Classrooms, we're looking at an environment that is changing the way instruction works. And I think about the future of mobile devices, it's mind-blowing. I think eventually we're going to have these intelligent operating systems that are going to make us question our own human existence. And I kind of see that. I see intelligent apps becoming more personalized. I think the possibility of wearing technology, this wearable technology in augmented reality, is captivating. I can foresee, students taking a virtual field trip to the Parthenon, to the Amazon. I can see this whole revolution in this environment that we create. And although I do see it as a management tool, and I appreciate that, I also think it's going to be huge for how we differentiate instruction. I think an open source kind of technology like that is going to promote, some sort of democracy. I don't want to be too political, but also connect us globally. And that's huge. I appreciate management, but I also appreciate being able to go in and do something that I've never done before. I can't wait to have a wearable, some kind of wearable device to kind of make me escape the every day-to-day reality. That'd be awesome to come home and put on a pair of shades and I'm on the beach.
Have you read the book Ready Player One?
That's a great book.
Yeah, that you made me think that with the goggling in and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Snow Crash is another one. All right, well, it's time for your Speed Geek questions. So these are short answer. Just throw out whatever's on your mind, and we will see. This is my Decide Now app.
Fantastic. Yes, I got that from you. Thanks for sharing that.
I love it. I think you did this at the OATC conference, so hopefully you won't get the same questions. But what's your favorite social network?
Instagram. I love that you can look at a picture, think of words quickly, make an association. It's non-threatening, fun. Love it. Love it. Okay.
Yeah, I've got to, I guess, dig in more into it. I mean, I've shared periodically, but not enough to be dangerous. Okay, the next one is Mac, PC, or Chromebook. We could throw out, probably Surface tablet. What's your favorite device?
I'm in love with my Mac. I'm an Apple girl through and through. It's been my best friend. It's taken me through some hard times.
It's family, huh?
It is.
Okay. All right, and our last question is, this is a good one and one of my favorites. What's your favorite educational blog?
Yeah, so I have two new ones that I've recently become a little bit addicted to. One is called Purely Paperless, and it's just a teacher that writes about tech tools for today's classroom. And then there's another one called Saving Socrates. And so being Greek, I always have to do a shout out to my heritage. And, it just gives authentic views on educational practices and tech integration. And, sometimes it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I think being able to read about it and make my own decisions is what that's all about. But I do have to tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I still have my first compact Presario in my basement.
Awesome.
Still have it. I can't lift it, but it's there.
I have a Commodore 64. It doesn't work. I have it, and I won't throw it away. I'm hoping it's going to be worth something someday.
Me too. Somewhere there has to be some kind of computer history museum that we could donate these to, right?
So you said Saving Socrates, and what was the first one? Because these are new ones I haven't heard of.
Yeah, Purely Paperless.
Purely Paperless.
It's pretty interesting, and I like it because when you get on a blog, you can contribute if you want, or you can just simply be an outside spectator, and I love that. I also love to dialogue with people who I may not know physically, but virtually, and I think there's some kind of truth and pure communication that we don't do face-to-face through a blog. So I love that. And I've been inspired. I think I'm going to create my own blog shortly.
You must do it.
Yes. Totally.
I've heard a lot of the people I've interviewed said that really starting a blog was really their first step because it really kind of focuses you. And I have a blog, and I wish I keep telling myself I need to do more on it. It's just finding that 15, 20 minutes of time to do it. You have to set it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my blog. It's the virtual blog.
I think it's awesome. I love what you're doing. I think this kind of dialogue is super important. I appreciate your interaction with my team at eTech. I think that was an awesome experience also being on your YouTube channel. So I just want to say thank you, and we truly appreciate what you do. I think it's awesome engagement for teachers to share.
Great. Well, thank you. Like I said, it's been a work of love because I really want to get teachers put out there because you do such great things. I don't think the world knows it. So anything I can do to get that going. So
I was going to wear the little tiara, but then I thought it was too much. But thank you, Andrew, for all you do to support educators, students, and technology and education. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Helen. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. All right. Good to see you.
You too.